All right, everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to a Sticky Friday from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Got a 777 due in a little bit. A couple of special liveries here at the airport. So I figure we'll start a little early instead of just doing the usual Friday night live stream. I figure we will start a little bit early tonight. Try to catch as many aircraft as we can. We got a Southwest 737 MAX taking the runway now. All action today on runway 24 left and runway 24 right. Hopefully it stays that way throughout the day. The flags look like they were blowing the other way when I was coming in, so we'll see how things go. I hope you guys are enjoying your Friday. If you're still at work, hope the rest of your day goes quick for you. I just wrapped up a little bit ago. Got a little bit of overtime this week that I had to cut, so figure we'll just get up here a little bit early today. Definitely a sticky one up here today. Not quite as nice as yesterday. Yesterday was gorgeous. Great day to be stuck in the office. But today, glad to be able to get off a little bit early and get outside and catch some aircraft for you today. Got an Eastern Airlines 777 due in here in a little bit. It's a military charter coming in from Minneapolis, St. Paul, due in around 4:15 or so. So still a little bit of time to come up if you're in the area. We got the American World Cup livery here is landing as I was pulling in. The Being United Together livery will be here a little bit later on, as well as the UPS 767. Probably to close out the stream a little bit later on this afternoon. And I see some weather moving into Chicago. Lisa was moving in earlier. Don't know if it'll cause anything, but we'll keep an eye on it. Got an ATI Learjet inbound, all black Learjet coming in from Hayden. Should be our next inbound flight. It's a Cessna Cardinal out there. I'm assuming that's probably going to go to Lakefront, but we'll keep an eye on it.
352 Tango radar contact about 4 miles east of Norwalk, 3,500 feet approved. On course, clear to Bravo, 739.
Today, of course, is the start of a big week for plane spotting up here in northeastern Ohio. We get the Hall of Fame game next Thursday at down in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think it's Thursday night. So we have two more I think they'll both be 777s. At least two more heavies will be coming in next week. One for the Arizona Cardinals, so I'm assuming it'll be their aircraft. And the other one will be I'm assuming American for the Carolina Panthers. So we'll see what comes in next week. Probably Monday or Tuesday. They usually tend to come in a few days before that game, just so the teams can be a part of all the Hall of Fame festivities. So if I find out, I'll certainly post it on Instagram for you. Let you know when those are coming in. But we should see those next week. Should see something military as well for the flyover. So we'll keep an eye on that. See a United 737 taxiing over to my right. I hope it's either going to the pad to do some engine run-ups or maybe over to Atlantic for a Guardians charter. And that they're not turning the field around. If they do turn the field around, we'll run over to the other side really quick. But we'll see how the day goes. Waiting on this Learjet to get here. Look at that Flight Radar 24. It's all black. So it might be a pretty cool Learjet inbound, although it looks like it's all white to me. Inbound from Hayden. All right, it's half black and half white. should not see any rain today. It is a little bit on the cloudy side, but we shouldn't see any rain today. We will likely see some tomorrow evening, but we should be okay from a weather standpoint today. A couple of Flex Jets beauties sitting over there. A couple of their Golf Streams. Take a look at our next inbound flight that's popping up. We have American Eagle 5129 CRJ9 out of Philadelphia, about a half hour out. United 464 out of Fort Myers is about 45 minutes out. Southwest 3887 out of Phoenix is about 35 minutes out. Our 777 Eastern Airlines flight 3049 out of Minneapolis, St. Paul is 29 minutes out. And a few other aircraft that are out there as well. Keep an eye on the military today as well. Maybe we'll see something cool at some point today. I kind of made a deal with myself on what was it? Wednesday night, I think it was. We had the trainer for the new VC-25 E4s down at Rickenbacker, the crane, the former Lufthansa 747-8. So I did a bunch of touch and goes in the afternoon and then landed. So I booked it down there after work thinking, oh, it'll definitely leave tonight. It was down there until about 10 o'clock and it stayed and it left the next morning. Well, it left yesterday morning. So I kind of made a deal with myself that I'm like, I saw an E4 was in the area as well that day. And I'm like, if an E4 doesn't go to Dayton on Thursday, I'll go down there on Friday. And of course it landed last night and took off this morning. So we're gonna get one of those cool airplanes at some point. We might have switched runways. There's a United 737 flight 1892 to Newark. It's down for 6 right. So we're gonna
1 o'clock, 2 miles southwestbound, indicating 3,000 feet.
So we have a few minutes. We're going to be right back. I'm going to switch sides so we can be a lot closer for the arrivals for you because we're going to be way too far away for the 777 if they're switching to the 6s. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut the stream off for about 5 minutes and we're going to drive over to the other side so we can get that arrival for you. So bear with me. We'll be right back. They just switched sides on us, so we're going to go ahead and switch to the other end. So bear with me for about 5 minutes. We're going to drive over to the other side so we get that arrival of that 777 for you. So we'll be right back.
No bones. No bones. No bones.
One had to drive around for a minute, but we are back live here from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. They switched sides on us, so we're on the 6s now. 6 right for departure, 6 left for our arrivals. At least they give us enough time to get over here. Not really sure what American Eagle is doing. I think they may be moving them out of the way so the Delta connection can take off. So sorry about the delay we had there. We just had to switch things around there for a minute.
It's pretty close to where you're at. On there, and just be in the aircraft for walking. Good. Area, a lot of frequency you want to find about 6 miles, approximately 3 miles in diameter, so you can use the bound. Yeah, we just do a flight left view.
Just taking a look at something here really quick. Delta Connection CRJ heading out, just trying to see where that Eastern is. Only got a few minutes till the 777 gets here. Delta Connection CRJ heading out. American Eagle is going to go wait on the pad for their flow time. But again, I apologize for the little delay there. We just switched it around. We had to come over here, and I thought they were talking about switching it back around again, which, again, if they do that, I'm going to be pretty annoyed. We'll probably just stay over here, though, if they do.
5129 advance moving Hopkins inside 2 o'clock, 14 miles.
Delta Connection CRJ heading out. I wanted to make sure we were close enough for the 777, so I didn't want it to come in way on the other side and we'd be way away from it. So I wanted to book it to the other side really quick. We got an Eastern Airlines 777 inbound from Minneapolis. It's a military charter that we have coming in. That aircraft is about 5 minutes out. We have American Eagle 5129 out of Philadelphia, CRJ 900. Southwest 3887 out of Phoenix. United 464 out of Fort Myers. So we got several inbound flights here today. At least they give us enough time to get over to the other side, so at least I'll give them that one. It would have been awful if they had switched it around and the Eastern one's the next plane in, because over there the arrivals would be, we wouldn't actually really be able to see it touch down. So I wanted to make sure we got over to the other side for you. So while we got a little bit before the next inbound flight, try to get back and get to the comments. Let's take a look here. Just Planes will be there for Props and Pistons on August 16th at the Akron Fulton Airport. We got to fly in tomorrow at Mansfield. I think it's from 8 to 2 down at Mansfield's airport. There's also a fly-in over in Medina Airport in the morning. We are supposed to get some rain tomorrow, but I think the rain's going to get here in the afternoon, so a couple of things to keep an eye on. Got Monty here. We got Steve. 50 Beretta says stay cool out there. It's hot. It's a little sticky. It's actually a little better over here, but it is a little sticky out here today. 330 Sports Cards is asking who's flying in on these private jets. Not really sure who's on them. I mean, some of them, the FlexJet ones, are kind of a flexible ownership deal. So I know they got a bunch of kind of local people that own them. Never really heard who specifically owns which aircraft, but I mean, it could be anybody. Got a lot of businesses and whatnot, so certainly could be anyone coming in. Super Chill says, be sure to show the planes on blocks in this. Don't have any of those here, but I know a couple of airports that do. I'll take a look at my DMs here in a second for Mach. Plane says I'm in the most active when a KC-135 flies over my house. I saw one was with a C5 this morning, but I couldn't see it with the clouds. Chris is here, asking what 777. It's an Eastern Airlines 777 out of Minneapolis. It's a military charter. So that aircraft was here a couple of weeks ago, so I must be bringing the troops back. Or maybe coming in to pick up more. I'm not 100% sure, but coming in from Minneapolis.
Yeah, we have a 777 inbound. I'm going to stand by here on 6 right approach area for the follow inspection upon its arrival.
Force, just hold short, runway 6 right, minus the tower, and we'll get you off there once you land. She's out about at 6 mile.
So, car 4 is going to do the runway inspection.
Eastern 3049 heavy, Cleveland Tower, wind 3407, runway 6 right, good land.
Eastern's going to... Well, good news for us, guys. Eastern is going to come in on runway 6 right. So it's going to come in and land right in front of us. That's why Ops is holding short. Can you imagine if they had to do a runway inspection at a hub airport after every heavy landed? Not sure why they have to do them here. I can't imagine our runways are any narrower than other runways, but it's kind of standard Ops to do a runway. They don't do it after the FedEx and UPS 767s. They only tend to do it, it seems like, after a charter flight comes in. But they'll be doing a runway inspection here after the Eastern lands. Eastern's going to land right in front of us here on 6 right. So lucky day for us here today. American Eagle landing on runway 6 left. CRJ out of Philadelphia.
Give us like a few minutes heads up before you taxi us to that wheels up. Spin them up. Sure, let's say 35. I'll call you at 35 to start them up. Appreciate you, thank you.
We have JetBlue coming in, or JetBlue here today with the A320. So we'll see that leave here in a few minutes. JetBlue likes to send those in. It seems like the special livery's in late at night. They sent the Dominican livery in around midnight last night.
I think I've lost you. Say clear line 6 off, top 3887. Top 3887, Cleveland Tower with 3507, runway 6 left, clear line. Thank you. Clear line 6 left, top 38. Push your 5129, continues Golf Alpha, hold short, runway 6.
And Alaska seems like they spend their special liveries in the morning. The UNCF, our commitment livery was showing tomorrow morning.
Eastern 3049, heavy affirmative, runway 6 right, clear left. Runway 6 right, clear left. Eastern 3049.
Eastern inbound from Minneapolis, 777-200. Military charter today.
Maintain 3000 left to Hopkins inside 2 o'clock and 13 miles. Car 4, Cleveland Tower, runway 6 right.
So Eastern Airlines Flight 3049 rolling out on runway 6 right. Have to bring in the troops back from Minneapolis, St. Paul. I don't know if that's leaving today.
Cross runway 6 right at Alpha, then contact ground.
I would assume so. I haven't seen a departure time pop up for it, but I would assume that's going to be leaving here today. A mess of aircraft we have taxiing out now.
Eastern 3049, heavy, turn right when able, then
So maybe we'll see it leave while we're up here today.
Eastern 3049 heavy.
Southwest 3887 and MAX 8 inbound from Phoenix. Few aircraft taxiing out. American Eagle 5126 is the CRJ that was sent to the pad, heading down to Washington's Reagan National. American Eagle 4758 is the lead E175. They'll be heading to LaGuardia. American 1681, the FIFA World Cup livery, is heading to Charlotte. And the lead airplane, the Delta Connection CRJ, is flight 5242. They're going to be heading over to LaGuardia. We got the CRJ here taxiing out. Nice of them to bring the Eastern in on this side for us.
Then 3049, let's say back it up. Pad 3, phase 5, so you can make the left turn at Julius 5, and then join Julius, and I'll have more shots.
Eastern is going to park on pad 3, which kind of glad to hear that. We had 2 United 777s divert on, I think it was Monday night or Tuesday night, I guess it would have been. Both of those aircraft ended up spending the night, but they parked them both on the de-ice pad. So glad to see that they're parking this one back on pad 3, which means if it doesn't leave by the time we wrap up, we can try to drive over and get some pictures of it. Southwest rolling out. We got 2 regional jets and a special livery over here on the holding short of 6 right. We're going to go ahead and focus on the FIFA World Cup livery. This one won't be around too much longer, so if you see it, make sure you get a picture of it. American 737 will be heading to Charlotte. Of course, they had to park right where the pole is blocking the sign. Delta connection will go first, maybe. United 464 out of Fort Myers landing on the left side, 737-800. As you normally say, a CRJ E175, because I don't. I say it's a CRJ if it's a CRJ 900 like that is. One behind it's an Embraer E175. I want to see the Duncan plane. I want to see that one too. I saw it land when I was in Orlando, but don't have any really nice shots of it. So I'd like to see that one at some point. They keep sending them in on the 11:50 flight, then they leave around 8 o'clock in the morning. But since we've been getting regular A320s on JetBlue, hopefully we get some of the specials, and hopefully we start getting them during the day. There's United. Delta connection might be waiting on the runway sweep, but I'm sure that's got to be done by now. I'm not sure what the holdup is here. Maybe waiting just on their float time. I'm not 100% sure. Are getting a nice whiff of jet fuel over here, though, so that's always nice. 50 Beretta is asking, best airline to fly on in your opinion? I mean, probably Delta. But I think United has come a long ways over the last 5 or 6 years. As far as like the just the packages that they have and whatnot. The aircraft are really nice. I really had a good flight on them coming back from DC a couple of weeks ago. But probably Delta. But really, for me, I kind of book it based on the ticket price and also the time. So whatever airline's going to get me where I want to go with, you know, the most amount of time I can get there, or the best departure time or best arrival time at the best price. So, you know, sometimes that's Frontier, sometimes it was Spirit, especially to Florida back in the day. Spirit was pretty nice for that. If I'm going to DC, you know, if I'm going to downtown, then American's nice. If I'm going over the Dulles, then it's probably going to be United. So a lot of times I just kind of book it based on where I'm going. Southwest has a good loyalty program, though. I used to fly Southwest quite a bit, especially if we're doing like a family, trip or something like that, which we haven't done in a while. But like if my wife and I were going somewhere, Southwest was always nice because they didn't have to pay for the bags. But of course, that has changed. I've actually never flown JetBlue. Be happy if JetBlue could do Cleveland to London Heathrow with the A321s. Hey, I'll take anybody. Never flown them, only Delta, American, and the absolute worst Frontier. Yeah, Frontier always said you get what you pay for sometimes. Which, that's okay sometimes. If I want a cheap trip somewhere, like if I'm going somewhere for a day and I'm not really taking anything with me, sometimes a cheap ticket is okay. I'm glad to see Frontier is finally going to be adding Wi-Fi next year, so at least they'll be a little bit better for that. But definitely, I think you get what you pay for. Got Sea Fry here today. I will say I missed the big front seat with Spirit, though. I think Frontier has something kind of similar to it. But the Spirit with the big front seat actually wasn't too bad. Got a little bit more legroom, a little bit more room, and still a pretty cheap ticket. Wi-Fi and all that. I mean, it certainly wasn't Delta, but it wasn't too bad, especially for a cheap flight. Delta connection heading out to LaGuardia, CRJ 900. I'm gonna get a really nice shot of the American FIFA World Cup livery here in a second. I'll follow this while it gets off the ground. But with the American Eagle in the way, we can get a really nice shot of it. Wish I had my other camera and get a good picture of it for the gram. Or is it just a big sticker? But it is pretty nice to look at. I know if I run down to my car and grab my other camera. I know if I run down to my car and grab my other camera, the American Eagle in front will start moving. It'll be too late, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. So the American Eagle E175 in the front has the clearance to go onto the runway. So our special livery will move up. I do like that they carried it over to the engines, though. That's a pretty nice touch. It's more than just a graphic on the side of the fuselage. They actually tried to make a little bit of an effort with it, with the taking the colors onto the engines. I think what's kind of ironic is that the colors that they chose for this graphic actually would look really nice on United. It looks like it's probably pretty close to their darker blue and their light blue. But they're going to be taking the runway now, heading to Charlotte. Not sure when this aircraft is going to go away, but I'm sure it's probably got to be soon now that the World Cup is wrapped up. So probably the next time this aircraft goes in for a maintenance check, they'll probably rip all those colors off of it. Got a United Express E175. It looks like Frontier behind that. They're heading out for departure. American photo bomb by Frontier. You can tell that's one of the American special liveries, kind of like the Medal of Honor Flagship Valor livery that is a big decal that doesn't quite touch all the way on the top. It's all right though. Looks good from the side. United Express 3575 heading to Charlotte. We have Frontier 2409 and A321neo that'll be heading over to Atlanta. Southwest 4967 over the Phoenix. And Delta 2545 heading to Atlanta. Looks like JetBlue is getting ready to taxi soon as well. Flight 640 will be heading over to Boston. We keep looking to see if a departure time pops up for the Eastern, but I don't see one yet. Should have a Velo coming in here in a little bit. Looks like they're a little bit late today, but we should have them coming in. Fifty Beretta says the seats are like sitting on crates. Yeah, they are. I remember the first time I flew on Frontier. They look like lawn chairs with just a little bit of padding on them. And I was, my legs were very numb when I got up, but I landed in Florida. But they're cheap. Sometimes cheap is good. I will say though, if you're flying Frontier though, make sure you watch your flights though, because like sometimes if you get on like cheap flights or some of the websites like that to book your flight, you might find a flight on Frontier that's in your budget and the times look good, but if you look closely, it has a +1 next to it because it's actually an overnight trip. A couple years ago when I went to Dallas for Airliners International, I looked at Frontier. And it would have been here to Las Vegas, spent the night in Las Vegas, they went over to Dallas. So I'm like, why would I do that? Sometimes you definitely have to watch the what times they're trying to book you on Frontier. Of course, the danger to the low-cost carriers like that is if something happens and you get diverted somewhere, they may not be the most helpful at getting you where you actually need to go. I know a lot of people that have spent the night at airports because they flew Frontier or Spirit and the flight got canceled and they wouldn't help them with the hotel or anything like that, and also weren't really very clear about what time their flight was going to leave the next day. So when in doubt, I try to stick with the big three. I like Southwest too. I've flown Southwest many times over the years. I haven't flown JetBlue yet. I did fly Breeze, and I thought they were really nice. I've flown Sun Country, and I thought they were pretty nice. But I haven't flown JetBlue, and I haven't flown Alaska yet. Frontier heading to Atlanta. Southwest heading out to the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Look how warm it is down there today.
Let's turn direct to stay home for good. That's 35.
Just realized when I get home, I'm going to edit out like the entire first like 20 minutes of the live stream because of the runway switch. Oh boy. At least they give us enough time to get over here though before the Eastern got here. Southwest on their way out. Take a look at the NASA Glenn Research Center. That hangar is up for lease. So they're trying to find someone to take over the hangar since NASA has moved their aircraft out of Cleveland. The actual research center is still over there, but no more NASA aircraft in the hangar, at least for the time being. Fun fact, back then, Frontier used to have in-flight entertainment back in the 320s and I think the 318s. Yeah, for the longest time, they kept saying that they wouldn't have in-flight entertainment because it would make the ticket price go up. And I'm like, I'll pay the extra $5 for Wi-Fi. And that's why I'm the Delta guy in the front. There you go. Just playing, so yep, that was us overnight in Las Vegas to go to Cleveland at 6 in the morning. Vegas would be a fun airport. I haven't been to Vegas. Keep saying I'm going to try to make the trip out there for Red Flag someday. This year they canceled all the Red Flags so far, so it hasn't been worth the trip, but maybe next year they'll have it again. I'd love to get out there and watch, go out to the Speedway and watch the Red Flag activities over there, and then go to Las Vegas and watch the aircraft going out of there. Got to get some Janet 737s, so maybe at some point we'll get out there. Phoenix is definitely an amazing airport. 2M Walsley says, JetBlue bring in their blue livery on the 321 last month. Yeah, they bring them in sometimes. It's a blue livery on the 20 today. But they need to bring their specials in during the day. They keep bringing those in at night. We've had a couple of special liveries so far for them, but since they started bringing the 320s back, and I think they've all pretty much been at night. I was tempted to come up here this morning to try to catch the Dominican Republic livery when that was here, but didn't really feel like. I ended up kind of staying up late last night with the little guy and just didn't really feel like getting up here and watching that and then rushing to work. Got a Hawker landing on the other side. Or Citation landing on the other side. Delta Airlines Flight 2545 is taxiing out for departure, 737-900 heading to Atlanta. American Eagle 5126 still sitting on the pad for its flight over to DCA. Several business jets are live over at Atlantic. It looks like a Challenger, a couple of Challengers. A flight exclusive Citation is heading to Dallas. And I see a Falcon 900 that's over there live. Maybe we'll see that Falcon leave today. Also waiting to see if we get a departure time for the Eastern 777 that's sitting on the pad. Hopefully that'll be while we're up here today. Delta heading to Atlanta. Where else, right? My goal airline to try to fly on at some point in the near future is Lufthansa. They're retiring their 747-400 fleet, I think, by the end of next year. But I want to get on a 747 before they're pretty much impossible to get on. Still got some time, I think, for the Dash 8, but like to get on one of those at some point. Just need a reason, I guess, to go to Germany and probably learn a little bit of German before I think about taking that trip. Not getting above the tree line before getting off the ground before the tree line. There's a citation. Citation will head over to one of the FBOs, probably either Jets or Atlantic. Should see a decent amount of private jets over the next few days as the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony is next week. I think everything kicks off on Monday, I believe. May even be sooner than that. I know the drum corps show is, I think, on Monday night, which used to be kind of the beginning. I think the Balloon Fest is the real beginning, but all that should be kicking off next week. The game, I believe, is Thursday night. Got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers. They'll be in town for the Hall of Fame game. And it sounds like they'll be landing here at Hopkins and then taking the buses over to Akron Canton. So I'll let you know if I find out what time, I'll let you know. My guess is probably either Monday or Tuesday. They tend to come in a couple of days before the game just so the teams can be involved with the Hall of Fame induction ceremony stuff. But the Arizona Cardinals will probably bring their 777. And I'm not sure what the Panthers will bring. I'm assuming they're going to come in on American, maybe a 777 or a 787. So I'll let you know once we find out. May come in on Atlas Air too. I'm not 100% sure. So once we find out for sure, I'll definitely let you know. And we'll see what the military flyover is going to be as well for that game. I haven't heard anything yet. I keep checking the website to see if they post anything. Last year I know it was Hornets, and I think the year before was E2 Hawkeyes. So they do get some pretty cool stuff down there for the flyovers. So we'll have to kind of keep our eyes out and we'll see what ends up coming in. But a pretty big week of plane spotting up here. We'll have the Browns charter starting up as well. So we'll start seeing charter flights coming in for the Browns.
16, thanks for your help. Pleasant Street, Toledo, Tower 4.5.
And I hear something really cool might be coming in next weekend, but we'll see as we get closer to see if there are any changes with that. Delta Connection 5641 E175 inbound from Boston, followed by Delta Connection 4975, a CRJ-9 out of JFK. Alaska Flight 216, a little early today, 737-900 out of Seattle. And taxiing out for departures, Frontier 3026 heading to Miami.
4.9er. Fox up to within 2,500, field 510, 11 o'clock, 8 miles. 2,500, field 5, stop Fox up. 647, joining at 330. 17 mile Fox up, visual approach by 24 right, left on tower, 4.3.
Got a decent amount of traffic coming in. Probably won't know what the flyover is unless they actually post it. Last year, had no idea what it was until Hornet showed up the night before. So probably Wednesday night, keep an eye on the areas around Akron, Canton to see if anything happens to come in. If nothing comes in on Wednesday night, then it's either going to be one of our local groups doing a flyover, like the F-16s out of Toledo, the helicopters out of Akron, Canton, the C-130s out of Youngstown, something like that. Or who knows, maybe something like a C-5 or one of the bombers or something like that. We'll find out later on this week what we'll be doing the flyover down in Canton for the Hall of Fame game. Frontier heading to the city of Miami. It's Crockett the Raccoon. That aircraft spent a little extra time here last winter. This was the aircraft, I believe, that got a little bit of damage after the tow bar broke on the tug, and it spun it back around into the side of the airplane. No one got hurt, fortunately, but the airplane was stuck here for a little bit of extra time for repairs. But Crockett is back into service now and ready to head out to Miami. CRJ landing on the other side. Yeah, Delta Connection flight inbound. We'll unfollow Frontier on their departure. Then I think we'll have enough time to swing around and get the E-Jet. Sorry, that is the Alaska 737. I apologize. That's not the E-175. Alaska touching down on 6 left. Frontier heading out on 6 right.
Following a Boeing 737 on a 5-mile funnel.
Alaska 216 rolling out from Seattle. Got a CRJ inbound. Speaking of CRJs, I wonder how everyone's doing on the Reagan National flight that's still sitting on the pad. Been over there for a little bit now. 737 landing on the left side, it looks like.
Golf 4, taxi Golf Alpha.
That's United Airlines 1084, a 737 MAX 8 inbound from LAX. Frontier 3073 out of Raleigh, A321neo. 320neo behind that, and then we have a SkyQuest Hawker. A couple of outbound flights, Frontier 3456, 321neo to Atlanta. And another 321neo, flight 1544 heading to Fort Myers. Both of those aircraft for Frontier.
You'll be number 1. Continue all the way down at the end, please. Number 3 from the left, that's regional jet at between you. In the front here, second one, give way.
So it sounds like a little bit of good news for the American Eagle CRJ. They're going to be out of the penalty box, going to go second. So the back Frontier is going to let them go. So looks like they get a little bit of a reprieve. They must have got their flow time figured out, heading over to National Airport. Frontier inbound on the left side. So we had a couple of business jets that may be coming in as well. There they are, they're let out of the box. So after a good 45-minute wait on pad 7, American Eagle on their way to DCA. Meanwhile, Frontier's inbound on the left side. A320neo out of, I think, Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. Good news for Frontier, they get to roll all the way to the end, which is something that they like to do because it takes them closer to the Alpha Concourse that they have their gates at. Frontier heading to Atlanta. The base is humming today, lots of Frontiers heading out. Interesting bird on the back Frontier. So Frontier heading out, American Eagle on the runway now for their flight over to DCA. SkyQuest Hawker landing on the left side. Hopefully Frontier sits there for, what is that name of that bird? Geneva, the American, that's a bittern? Is that what that says?
5126,
I thought that was my wife. I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home. Apparently that's an American bittern. Does look kind of bitter looking, I guess, right? I don't know. 321 Neo. On their way out. Frontier on their way, I believe, if I remember right, down to Fort Myers, Florida. Our next inbound flight, a Embraer Phenom for Transmedic, is inbound from Teterboro. Southwest 1506 out of Denver is about 10 minutes out, and Delta Flight 880 out of Atlanta is about 15 minutes out. American Eagle 4909 as we get into the evening flight. CRJ 7 out of Chicago's O'Hare, about 15 minutes out for that aircraft as well. Have a Baker Aviation Cessna Citation X out of Santa Ana, about 25 minutes out south of Detroit right now. American 650s out of LAX. We have Southwest 473 out of Nashville. Both of those aircraft about 35 minutes out. 737 MAX 8s. United Flight 1970 out of Orlando, 40 minutes out. Another special livery. It's the United Together livery on that MAX 8. We'll have a Velo Flight 441 out of New Haven, 737 800s, 20 minutes out. Got an Exec 1 Aviation Hawker 400 out of Nantucket, it's 45 minutes out. American Eagle 4386 is an hour out, followed by United 2172 out of Newark. Also trying to keep an eye on Eastern to see if we get a departure time for the 777. See if that's going to leave today or if that's going to leave tomorrow. I don't see anything yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. A little later on tonight, around 6:30, we should have UPS Flight 5442, a 767 out of Louisville, Kentucky. That's due in around 6:30. Aer Lingus 9 Alfa Romeo 321 Neo out of Dublin, 6:45 the arrival time for that as of right now. So it's kind of a little bit of an idea of some of the stuff we might see later on today. You got a fly exclusive Citation heading to Dallas Love taxiing out. So no, we're not LAX or JFK, but we try to keep things fun around here. Up here at Hopkins as we wrap up July, get into the fun time of the year, get into August. We got the Hall of Fame game next week. We got Props and Pistons, the air show at Akron Fulton Airport featuring the Viper demo team August 16th and 17th at Akron Fulton Airport. And of course, we end the month with the Cleveland National Air Show Labor Day weekend at Burke Lakefront downtown. Blue Angels will be in town. The F-22 will be in town. That should be staging here. So hope to see the F-22 here at Hopkins. We have all the tankers this year. We have the KC-46 and the KC-135 demo teams. We have the C-17 demo team this year. We got a lot of civilian acts as well. Should be a pretty good time. Maybe we'll get a couple more announcements before the show. But looking forward to a good time here over the next 5 or 6 weeks. So make sure you're here, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And we'll keep an eye on Rickenbacker and Dayton to see if we get that, anything else cool going in down there. Still trying to get that E4. We have the former Lufthansa 747 down there this week, Crane 01 doing some training. Hopefully they come back at some point. And of course we had one of the C-32s, the 757 that's sometimes used at Air Force One or Air Force Two, was down at Akron Canton doing some training under the call sign of Venus 41, wearing the new livery a couple of weeks ago. So you never know what you're going to see. Sometimes you might see stuff like this classic car that's heading home to be restored somewhere. Never know what you're going to see here in northeastern Ohio. Had some Ospreys pass through Mansfield the other day. So you never know what you might see up here. Trying to get back into the comments here as we were following some of the aircraft. Spaghetti MD11 says, upset how I keep missing rare planes in Cleveland. We got a good week for it this week. We should have lots of heavies, lots of cool stuff over the next week or so. So make sure you're in the area. Your Blocks is asking, what makes this week so special? Well, hey, it's Hall of Fame week down in Canton. So we'll get some heavies and we'll get some military as well. So, and we'll get a lot of private jets. Most of the private jets, I'm assuming, will go to Akron Canton, but Hall of Fame week is always a good time. Still waiting to find out what might be doing the flyover for the Hall of Fame game. The business jet inbound.
Proceed on runway 6 left from the approach end, traffic pulled out.
How long do you need? It's green all the way past 25 on the hour here, so I can give you time right now, or 15, or you call me again.
Alan is here tonight from England. I hope you're doing well today, Alan. Just Play says, if it's the B1 flying over the Hall of Fame game, then I'm getting pulled over many times to see that loud jet. Hey, it may be, I don't know. I hope to find out. I hope that they post what's going to be doing the flyover. I'm always rooting for a B2, but I guess we'll see as we get closer. Last year were Hornets, which always fun to see the Hornets. We had E2s one year. I think we had Ospreys one year. I'm sure there's been a lot of cool stuff other than that, but I'd take some B1s. An afterburner pass for the game would be pretty incredible. Surfer Bree is here, says we are less than a mile from Hopkins and Olmsted Falls. Planes get pretty close here. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'd be in my backyard just watching them all day if it were me, if I was over there. Sometimes, I live down in Medina, sometimes they get pretty close to me. We've had, it seems like over the last week, I don't know if they changed something going into Akron-Canton, but it seems like we've had some really low jets going into Akron-Canton. We're probably closer to Hopkins than we are Akron-Canton. It's probably pretty close. But we've had a couple of airliners go over our house at like 2,500 feet. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Because even when they come here, they're usually about 7,000, 8,000 feet. When they come over my house, which I can still get, they take pictures of them and whatnot from there, but I've had a couple come in about 2,500 feet, which are like, wow, that's crazy low. We're city in Ohio. I mean, there's some small towns out there that kind of suck, not gonna lie, but I don't know, I would say Youngstown. As far as like your bigger cities, I'd say Youngstown. Dayton's close, but Dayton has some redeeming qualities to me. There's some really nice areas around Dayton too. There's some nice areas around Youngstown. Some nice areas around Akron. I want to go with Youngstown. CS727 F2N saying, have you flown on the old Lockheed 1011? I flew on it twice for Delta. It was a great aircraft. Now, I never got on an L1011. So that's an experience that I didn't get. I wish I would have got it. It is a really neat aircraft. I know there's some questions out there now about the future of Northrop Grumman's L1011 that they use for, is it Pegasus? Is that what it's called? The missions that they're using that for NASA. But I think that wrapped up now. So there's some questions about what's going to happen to that airplane long term. Hopefully they find another mission. I'd love to see it fly. Hopefully it doesn't end up being retired and scrapped. I would imagine that Pima would probably want it if they do retire it, but I hope it stays in service for a while. I'd love to see that aircraft fly. Southwest landing on the left side. Let's try and go for the artsy landing gear shot and I missed.
Unable to.
Southwest rolling out. I believe they came in from Nashville.
Booth 1506, taxi via Golf Sierra, cross runway 6 right, Bangkok, ground 17.
Southwest from Denver, I apologize, 737 MAX 8, flight 1506, rolling out on 6 left. Delta 880 is inbound from Atlanta. And American Eagle 4909 out of I keep saying Charlotte, out of Chicago O'Hare. You have the Baker Citation behind that, and then Avello is about 10 minutes out from New Haven.
They got the website 1 through James, and also the 2998. Radar contact 4 west. the Hopkins Airport, this is the Bravo, say altitude.
Delta 880 inbound from Atlanta.
On runway 10, full length, 6 left and 6 right, park. Delta 880, taxi via Gulf Sierra, about 6 right, I have to got 1
Chris says, I remember when I went to Turks and Caicos and our flight on America was supposed to leave at 12 o'clock to Miami. We were already at the airport and it was delayed 6 hours. Ugh, that would not be fun. That would not be fun. Just plain so. Let me just say, we're somewhat in the golden age of aircraft a little bit. I don't know if we're in the golden age now. I think the golden age would have been, I know the real golden age of aviation was back in the 30s, but I think as far as commercial travel, I don't know. I think the 70s probably. You know, the 60s and 70s with, you know, just everything that was going on. You had the comments, the 707s, 727s, 47s, DC-10s. I don't know, a lot of aircraft we just don't have anymore. A lot of stuff we have now are the far more efficient, far safer twins, like your 777s, your 320s, A350s, all that stuff. So we're a lot better now as far as like we got a lot safer aircraft, more efficient aircraft, but probably not as cool as some of the stuff that we used to have. But safety is everything for sure. Steve is here. Hope you're doing well. CS727 fans have always wondered why Airbus chose 4 engines for the 340. Sure, folks here know. Oh, what was that? Actually, a good question why they chose 4 engines. I have to go back and look. I think they chose 4 hair dryers though. Watching a 340 get off the ground sometimes, especially if it's heavy. There's a really kind of almost scary video of an AirX A340 taking off that I've seen kind of making its rounds on social media, and it pretty much gets off the ground right at the very end. It's like, oh my goodness. SkyWest 4909 out of Chicago O'Hare, CRJ for American Eagle. Need to get back to O'Hare. JetBlue 640 A320 taxiing out for departure wearing the blue livery. That should be our next departure. Just plain said F-15 for the Cleveland Air Show. Well, I talked to those guys in Columbus and they said they hope to be here, so hopefully everything works out. The jets don't break, they don't get caught out for operational reasons. And we might see the F-15s here in Cleveland. A340 at 4 engines that bypass strict historical rules on long distance flights, offer high altitude performance, and give airlines peace of mind over oceans. That would make sense, especially for the time era that aircraft came out. The 777, I believe, actually, Boeing at one point proposed a 3-engine 777. I think. There's a really interesting book on the 777 out there that I read. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's about the development of the 777. And I believe at one point, Boeing considered a tri-huller version of the 777. But airlines didn't want that, and they were able to get the engine manufacturers to to build powerful enough engines to go with a twin. McDonnell Douglas, who was kind of out of money and out of ideas at that point, just upgraded their DC-10 to the MD-11, which was really trying to swim up against, up creek against, your more efficient twins like the 777, the A300, the 767 even. So the MD-11 wasn't quite a commercial success, but obviously it's enjoyed a great career as a freighter. Still haven't seen one fly since the accident. I've been down to Rickenbacker a couple of times and seen some Western Global MD-11 sitting on the ground, but I haven't been down there when one was actually scheduled to take off or land. So hopefully at some point we'll see one of those at some take off down there or land. Last time I saw an MD-11 was UPS here about a month or so before the accident.
So that one, or the one that you originally have to one of them.
FedEx has them back in service, but we don't get FedEx MD-11s here. I don't think we've had a FedEx MD-11 here in years. We had a Western Global here a couple of years ago, but Columbus is probably the best opportunity for us in Ohio to see an MD-11. And I was down there the other day to try to catch the 747. There were at least 2 Western Global MD-11s I saw on the ground. But I haven't seen one fly since before the accident. JetBlue 640 A320 heading to Boston. Maybe someday they'll give us a tour of Area 51. Oh, I wish. There's a great book called Dreamland, if you haven't read it. It's a big coffee table book, really big book by Peter Merlin. Fantastic book on Area 51. Well researched, got tons of pictures and articles and whatnot. I read it earlier this year and just learned a ton about Area 51. A ton of stuff I never knew. Fascinating book if you're interested in Area 51. I think there's a mod on either X-Planes or Flight Simulator that you can drive around Area 51, but that'd be a fun place to go. I mean, you're not gonna get close enough to really plane spot, but it'd be a pretty cool place to go. Motor Media said, you see a bone land in Cleveland? I saw a large plane overhead near Waynesburg, Malvern. Wasn't sure what it was, dark paint. I wish we had a B-1 land here. We had one for the air show back 20 years ago land here, but no B-1s today. We had an Eastern 777 land. Don't think it would have flown over you though. I know a C5 was refueling this morning, so maybe you saw that. That would have gone over Stark County. But no B-1s here, I wish. Just plain says a B-1 would never land in Cleveland. Actually, one did back 2001 maybe maybe a little sooner than that. There was one here for the air show. There's some pictures on airliners.net if you just kind of go back and you look up like older photos from Hopkins. There are some photos of a B1 here that was here for the show. Probably never get that lucky again though. I was at the show that year and it was awesome. The only time I ever saw a B1. I had one fly over my house last summer, and you could see it on ADSB. I couldn't see it because of the clouds. I know a couple of people got some pictures of it when they got a little bit like clearer spots. But man, you could hear it. Definitely an unmistakable aircraft, the spiritual successor in a way to the XB-70 Valkyrie, originally developed by North American Rockwell. A lot of the XB-70 went into the development of the B-1A. So I always kind of looked at it as a successor to the B-70 in a way. The Velo 441 inbound from New Haven on the left side, followed by American 650 out of LAX. And taxiing out for departure is Southwest 1162 that's heading over to Baltimore. Probably never get that lucky again to see a B1 land here. Glenn's asking, what do you listen to on your scanner? Tower, ground, or approach? I have it scanning through everything. Typically I'll listen to tower, but I was scanning through everything. There's a Velo. Just started service here a few weeks ago out of New Haven and Concord, North Carolina. First time we got him on the live stream. Be interesting to see once the airport releases numbers how this flight is doing. Especially the Concord flight, because there's a decent amount of competition with Frontier and American out into North Carolina, especially American over the Charlotte. So I wonder how they're doing with their bookings up here. Southwest heading to Baltimore, 737 MAX 8.
441 taxi vehicle Alpha cross runway 6 right, then on the ground point 7
Velo has taken over the gates that were formerly occupied by Spirit Airlines. As Southwest holds short, we have another 737 MAX, American 650 out of Los Angeles International.
Citation 2 Victor Uniform, citation holding short of Foxtrot, please.
So one citation going into Atlanta, the other citation trying to come out. Got a number of aircraft that look like they're taxiing out for departure. Looks like business jets and regional jets. We got a citation November 6 Bravo Bravo heading to Orlando. It's like another citation heading out, a Sovereign that we should see. Still got some aircraft live over at Atlantic. A Falcon 900EX is the one I'm hoping that we see leave today. A couple of the Challengers as well. United 486 taxiing out for Denver. And American Eagle 5129 will be heading over to Philadelphia. Our next inbound flight, Southwest Flight 473, 737 MAX out of Nashville. Only a couple of minutes out. And passing over my house right now, United 1970, 737 MAX out of Orlando. That's a special livery. It's the Being United Together 737. The employee livery for United Airlines. So we should be seeing that aircraft here in about 10 minutes or so. Still don't have a time for the Eastern departure. Keeping an eye on that. Maybe they're going to be spending the night. Earlier on today, we had an Eastern 777 bring home the troops, a military charter out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. So one citation heading out. This one wasn't here very long. Maybe a quick gas and go, or maybe they dropped somebody off. 12 Victor uniform heading out. I think the Falcon is taxiing. I think that's a Falcon. Down there in the distance, I could be wrong. I just turned out. I don't see a third engine on it, maybe not. Southwest about to land on the left side. We're gonna go and stick with the Falcon, or with a citation. This United that's about to pass into view though, I feel sorry for it. It's got a new livery radome and it's just got a lot going on. Hey, look at that. Dual runway action. We got one landing on the left side and one heading out on the right side. This United though looks like a 1990s Ford van that has, you know, each door is a different color and a fender is a different color. There's a lot going on this one. Falcon. Cool, so it's good to see a mini tri-jet head out today. United on their way to Denver. We have a PSA CRJ. I think it was PSA. CRJ heading to Philly. We have a Falcon 900 taxiing behind them. Eagle 5129 heading out. CRJ heading out. Got a pretty cool paint job on the Falcon. Falcon 900. I like how it runs across the nose like that. Mini tri-jet heading out. Maybe someone down below can track that tail number and let us know who it might belong to, but I like the paint job on it.
We just got here, actual frequency 3587.
So the mini tri-jet heading out. Meanwhile, we have the Being United special livery inbound on the left side out of Orlando. A special livery 737 Max. Hopefully we'll see that depart today. Cleveland Aviation hit 100 subs today. Congratulations. Got a Hawker for Exec 1 Aviation out of Nantucket, about a minute out. The C-130 coming up from Fort Liberty. Otis 17. Don't think they're coming our way, but it'd be cool if that were to come in. Eastern 777, we have a departure time for you, 6:05 this evening for the Eastern 777, 6:05. So we should catch that on the live stream, assuming it doesn't leave 3 hours late. Eastern 777 will be heading to Kansas City. So we should catch that live here in about a half hour. It did come in late, that's why I was saying that. But as long as it doesn't leave like 3 hours late, we should see the Eastern 777. The BN United livery that just came in heading to Houston, flight 1645, expect to leave around 7 o'clock. If we have enough battery, we'll go that long. I don't know if we will, but we'll try to see if we can catch that one for you. Southwest 2887, MAX 8 should be pushing back soon for Denver. PSA 5470, American Eagle CRJ to DCA also should be pushing back soon. And Frontier 1491 will be heading to Tampa. Hasn't popped up on jet tip yet, but 6:05 is the estimated departure time for Eastern. Gotta admit something funny. When I went to an IMAX theater and was just getting into aviation at the time, I thought IMAX made the 737. I mean, I can see why someone might think that. For the theatrical experience that will truly blow the doors off. All right, that was bad. IMAX partnered with Boeing for in-flight entertainment. Heck yeah. I get like a wraparound screen in front of you in the seats. Heck yeah. Motor Medics asking, have I seen videos of the Mach Loop in Wales? I've seen lots of videos out there, and I would love to go out there and just watch planes. It would be incredible to watch that. It would be absolutely incredible. Asking about 1970 flew in my house. I live in Medina, so it was, they usually would come up, kind of come up that way, and then they turn about to the point where they get to Medina. So they usually turn about to the point where they get to my house. So when they're on the sixes like today, going into my backyard is kind of a fun place to watch. Assuming they're coming up from the south. Max B. Cleveland says, love the Mach Loop videos. think one guy has some great shots. I've heard, is that the one where you got to climb the mountain to get to? Or is that the one in America? There's one that sounds like it'd be pretty tough to get to, but the payoff is pretty incredible if you get up there. I forget which one it is though. Block said recently got the 200 subscribers. Well, congratulations. Working your way up towards 1,000. Just playing says, I love Denver. Coming from San Antonio, was racing a Boeing 737, landing at the same time, and we won. Always a good feeling when you're ahead of the airplane over there to your other side. Falcon Tri-Jet reminds me of the good old days flying a 727, a great plane. I would agree. That's one of my favorite narrow bodies too. Probably actually my favorite narrow body. I love the 727s. It's always a great day when we get one. We don't get them that often, and usually when we do, it's at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's always great to get one. Willow Run Airport up in Ypsilanti, Michigan on the west side of Detroit. They get a lot of them up that way for USA Jet. Kalita used to have them based up there as well. But they get 727s and MD-80s quite a bit up there. I love the 727, such a cool airplane. Got a baby CRJ heading out the Challenger. This is a little guy. Got a pretty paint job on it though. So again, if you missed the announcement from a few minutes ago, assuming everything stays on schedule, the Eastern 777 should be departing at 6:05 tonight. So hopefully they'll leave on time and we'll see them leave in a little bit. So what's your opinion on the new Korean Air livery? I wasn't a fan of it when they announced it. And I would say it's probably okay. I saw a 777 wearing it down in DC a couple of weeks ago when I was down there sitting at the gate, and it is a really pretty shade of blue. I prefer the old livery though. The old livery was just so classic. Very minimalist looking at the new livery. But I would say it's okay, but I prefer the old livery more. It's a pretty shade of blue though. You ever go down to Vienna at the Air Reserve Base and watch the military land there? No, I haven't been. That'd be cool. I'll go to Columbus every once in a while. I've been to Toledo. Wright-Patterson every once in a while, but trying to catch that the E4 night watch that goes in and out of Rickenbacker, or out of Wright-Patterson. There's usually about 3 or 4 times a week. Never when I'm down there. I went to Rickenbacker the other day for the former Lufthansa 747-8 that was down there. That's being used to train Air Force One pilots. And it didn't leave when I was down there, and I saw an E4 go to Dayton. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So we're gonna get that at some point. Nothing much November 160 Delta Victor. 727s forever. Amen. Timeless, they're really getting phased out, so you probably have a better chance of winning a lottery than seeing one of those at Cleveland. No, we get them. We get them every once in a while. They usually come in at night. We've had USA Jet and IFL here. They usually come in a few times a year. I think they're delivering car parts, if I'm not mistaken. So we get them, but they usually come in the middle of the night. We did have one a few weeks ago. It actually came in during the day, but I was at work. And I wasn't able to get it, but I know a few people got it. So we do see them from time to time. Not as often as we would like, for sure. .555 updated departure time for Eastern. Hopefully it sticks to that and we'll see that leave here in a few minutes. American Eagle taxiing out for departure. Will be heading to DCA. Taxiing out very slowly. Trying to see if I see the C-130. Should be passing over the airport. The Navy flight. Don't see it though. I hear it. But we do have a little bit of haze today, so I'm just trying to see if I can see it. Definitely hear it though. Here's a CRJ. November 703 Papa Sierra CRJ 700 heading over to DCA for PSA Airlines. PSA recently moved their headquarters to Charlotte. Before that, they were headquartered down in Dayton, Ohio. American Eagle landing on the left side. With what I think is the most underrated airliner to fly on as a passenger, the E-175. Time I've flown on one, reasonably comfortable, even though it's not a big aircraft. The new generation CRJs like this one aren't as bad. The CRJ 200 though is a torture device. I'm not that big of a person and it's a tight squeeze to get into a CRJ 200. Fortunately, you don't see them too often anymore. Unless you're on a really short flight maybe, but But I don't mind the E175. I probably prefer it really to the 737 from a passenger standpoint. From a spotting standpoint, they're probably my least favorite airplane to film, but that's okay. I like filming CRJs, especially on windy days. They seem like they move around quite a bit on a windy day. These guys are on their way to DCA. United 2172, 737-700 inbound from Newark on final, followed by United 717 out of San Francisco, another 737. So we have a NetJets citation, possibly heading here, possibly heading to Burke. Looks like it might be heading over to Burke. That's a United Express 5638 out of Chicago's O'Hare. About 15 minutes out. UPS 5442, our 767 out of Louisville, Kentucky is airborne. About 6:21 for the arrival time for the 767, so we should see that on a live stream today. Aer Lingus 641 estimated ETA for Aer Lingus. On the left side, the baby Boeing, the 737-700 inbound. I know it's not as small as the 600, but we're not going to get a 600 here anytime soon. Unless we get a Janet flight for some reason, which that would be pretty cool. We're not going to get a 600 here, so we got the 700 out of Newark.
2172, taxi via Golf Alpha, cross runway 6 right, that comes down to
Let's take a look and see if the Eastern is live. I haven't seen it pop up yet, but we should see the Eastern 777 leave here in about 10 minutes, as long as they leave on time. United Express 3633 to Newark, taxiing out for departure. Delta Connection 4975 for Endeavor Air, heading to JFK, also taxiing out for departure. So NetJets is heading over to Burke. No FedEx tonight. I don't get how airshow stuff finds places in the desert, the jet spot. Yeah, they probably know people. I've ran into them a couple of times here. So they probably know people. I think I don't know if the same couple of guys do everything or if they invite people, like local people, to do it. I know we were kind of talking a little bit last year, but I just don't get to enough air shows. But I assume they probably, when you have a big following like they do, I'm sure they probably get to know people, which is pretty cool. Definitely enjoy their stuff. I watch a lot of the videos out of Oshkosh. Columbus will host the show next year. They will have the Blue Angels next July. Tickets actually for that show go on sale tomorrow, which I don't know why they put their tickets for sale so early, but
we have
But yeah, their tickets go on sale tomorrow in Columbus for the Blue Angels, and we'll see what else they get. Dayton will have the Thunderbirds next year. Cleveland will also have the Thunderbirds next year. They just flew over yesterday. They were following a tanker. I saw someone got a picture online. They were pretty spread out though. They flew over with their tanker heading to New York. Maybe in a couple of weeks or they're heading back, maybe we'll be lucky enough to see them. Missed an A380. JFK is the place to go if you want to see an A380. LAX is good too. Dulles is good. They only have two, well, I think one a day now. I don't know if British Airways still has the evening A380 or not. I know Lufthansa does. They used to have Emirates in the morning, but Emirates has switched to the 777. But JFK is the place to go to see an A380. Go to the TWA, you'll have one sitting right in front of you. Miss the Atlas 747s at Cleveland and go, oh, well, I'll see it sometime. Ravens weekend, when the Ravens fly Atlas, so it'll be here that weekend. I don't know if any other teams that we'll have coming in will fly Atlas. I think every year it seems like one or two more teams pick them up. So we'll see as we get closer if anyone else flies on Atlas, but I know the Ravens will for sure. May see one this week. It's possible that the Cardinals or the Carolina Panthers will fly in on Atlas next week. Don't know for sure. I know that we'll get two heavies next week for the Hall of Fame game. I'm assuming the Cardinals will fly in on their own 777. But since that's a big game, you know, it's possible that someone will come in on Atlas. Just have to wait and see. Those airplanes are based at Cincinnati, by the way. So if you want to see the passenger Atlas 747s, they're based at Cincinnati. They fly a lot of military charters as well. Delta Connection Endeavor Air heading to JFK. Yeah, go to the TWA hotel, hang out up there for a couple hours. You'll see some A380s. Go to LAX, you'll see them as well. There's a bunch of airports that get one A380, but JFK and LAX are the places that get a bunch of them. United landing on the left side as we'd watch in the CRJ. And we got a Citation inbound. I guess NetJetsy coming. Looked like they were heading north. United Express 3633 to Newark. It's like they are stopped on the pad. Poor guys. Waiting for their clearance over to Newark. Another United Express flight 5638 out of Chicago O'Hare, about 4 minutes out. Another E175. And another American Eagle, another E175, American Eagle 4057. This is the Gary Sinise Foundation sticker livery out of Miami. He's about 20 minutes out. So we should see that aircraft here in a few minutes. .420 Ghost Rider, great screen name. Love that name. Says, my friends are coming into Cleveland on United 1502 at 6:17. We should catch them as they come in a little bit. So looking forward to seeing your friends come in at 6:17 this evening. United Flight 1502. Out of Chicago on a 737-900, so we'll catch them here in about 20 minutes. Go Tron, he said, only one times I've been watching, I've seen a NASA test plane. Used to have them all the time down here. We had a PC-12 and we had a T-34. We had an S-3 at one point, which was really cool. But those aircraft have been relocated to the Armstrong base, Armstrong Research Center, and they're no longer based here. So the NASA hangar is empty and up for lease. So they're trying to get someone to take over the lease on that hangar. They're going to keep the Glenn Research Center here, but they'll have no longer be using the actual hangar, which is a shame. I'll miss seeing the NASA planes fly around. They would come in and just fly patterns, do a lot of touch and goes. They're always a lot of fun to watch fly around. I'll definitely miss seeing them. Your block's asking, is 2027 confirmed for the Cleveland Air Show? I see that the Thunderbirds are signed up. Thunderbirds in 27? It'd be unusual. Or yeah, wait, 27 is next year. Huh. Yeah, right now it's still confirmed. The Thunderbirds are on there. We'll see if 28 shows up. But as of right now, still expecting an air show next year. Definitely make sure, try to get up there the next couple of years. We'll see what the future of Burke holds. But we had the Blues this year, well, the Thunderbirds next year. Thunderbirds this weekend are at the New York show, and then next weekend they'll be out at Rochester, New York. Blues are at Seattle Seafair. 777 still has not popped up live. Hopefully we catch that here soon. Couple of E175s, United Express 3633 sitting on the pad right now heading to Newark. United or Delta connection 5641, that'll be heading over to Boston, is taxiing out. And United Express 5638 inbound from Chicago. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna run over and grab my other camera for the 777. Hopefully we'll see that depart here in the next 15-20 minutes. Maybe they put both of them on the pad. There's a good time while we waited to fill up the old water bottle. My brain defaulted back to 2025. Like 2027 is a long ways away. And oh, wait. It is 2026. Losing my mind today. United Airlines 1934 Airbus A320 out of Houston is about 8 minutes out. And we have American Eagle 4057 out of Miami is about 10 minutes out. They did park both of the regional jets on the pad. United Express heading to Newark, Delta heading to Boston are both sitting on the pad over there. I don't see any weather on the East Coast, so must just be dealing with flow. Behind them, we'll have United Airlines 234 taxiing out for San Francisco. Alaska 216 pushing back as well for Seattle. And it's like American Eagle 4909 for Chicago's O'Hare is pushing back. We should have Southwest 4295, a MAX 8 to Baltimore, Washington, should be pushing back pretty soon, as well as Southwest 2887 to Denver. And Frontier 1491 heading down to Tampa. Today from Arlington, Texas. Hope you're doing well today. Have you got a chance to ride Tormenta at Over Texas yet? Their new 300 plus foot dive coaster down there. Looks like it'd be a lot of fun. I saw the One Great Adventure announced, the 380 foot tall speeding coaster. I don't know if I could handle that. I love roller coasters. I don't know if I could handle that one. Don't really do well with spinning as I've gotten older, and that one's gonna be pretty nuts. But Tormenta would be a lot of fun. Here Black says 24 is the first time in a long time I had to close my ears for a Blue Angel demo. They were really good. The last time they were here in 24, they put on a really good show. I've kind of been a little disappointed in the Blues the last couple of times I've seen them. I thought they were pretty sloppy in Columbus last year, and I really wasn't that impressed with them in Dayton this year. And I was really disappointed in DC. The Thunderbirds did pretty much almost their full demo in DC, where the Blue Angels just did a couple of passes. But they were spectacular here in 24. Looking forward to seeing them again. No Fat Albert this year, though. Fat Albert, if you missed the news, the C-130 was sent to the UK. They're doing the wing box replacement for it. So no Fat Albert this year. They're sending Ernie, which is another Marine Corps C-130. It won't fly in a demo, but we'll be seeing Ernie here for the Blue Angel show in Cleveland. Have to wait till next year down in Columbus if you want to see Fat Albert. Have to admit, it was definitely missed Fat Albert when I saw the Blues in Dayton. It's cool to watch that big airplane. Watch him throw that big airplane around. It's pretty cool. I miss the days when I used to do the jet assisted takeoffs, but still puts on a pretty good show. That's all the aircraft sitting on the pad down there just to the right of the trees. We can't really see them. Got a little bit of a slow period now. Business should pick up here momentarily. We should see the Eastern 777 pop up. Supposed to have a 6:05 departure time. It is Eastern and they have a tendency to leave late, but we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully that we have that aircraft leave before we run out of battery. We have a Kent Corporation Cessna Citation taxiing out for Springfield. And American Eagle 4909 for Chicago is also taxiing out. But we should see Eastern hopefully any minute now. They're due to leave at 6:05. United 1502 out of Chicago O'Hare, 15 minutes out over Point Pelee, Canada, north of Cedar Point on the Canadian side. About 15 minutes out for that flight. Make sure you guys are here. Hit that like button down below. Looks like we're at 67 likes. Trying to get to 100 likes today. So if you haven't done so already, hit that like button down below. And if you really like the live stream, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much for your support. You're watching Nick Fly's Media live from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Eastern 777 here today. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. If I get any updates about anything coming in, I'll make sure to post it on there. Lots of cool stuff expected this week. We have our Pro Football Hall of Fame game down in Canton on Thursday night, so we're expecting at least 2 heavy jets as NFL charters this week. We should get something military as well for the flyover. And a little birdie tells me that there might be something really cool next weekend. I'm not going to say what it is until we know for sure it's coming. But might be a pretty rare aircraft coming in next weekend. So as I said, as I get more information, as we find out more, I'll definitely let you know. But make sure you guys stay tuned. Got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers playing down in Canton. Those charter flights will come into Cleveland sometime next week. I'm guessing Monday or Tuesday. They usually come in a couple of days before the game. And then they'll usually reposition the CAC on game day and then leave that night. And then we should get something military for the flyover. So pretty big week up here. Got to fly in tomorrow in Mansfield. As long as the weather holds out for that. And we have props and pistons. The air show at Akron-Fulton Airport on the 16th and 17th, featuring the U.S. Air Force F-16 Viper demo team. So make sure you're here for that in a couple of weeks. So lots of stuff going on. You don't want to miss any of that. So make sure you stay tuned. Looking forward to bringing all that to you. Cessna Citation owned by the Kent Corporation holding short on 6 right. We have a United Airlines A320 out of Houston landing on the left side. Alaska 216 will be taxiing behind the Citation. Will be the second departing flight. American Eagle will be out behind them. United 1934 rolling out from Houston. See, Southwest is taxiing out. Just waiting to hear from Eastern for their flight back to Kansas City. 777-200. Down about 25% on the battery, so hopefully it's in the next few minutes. Citation heading out. We got the American Eagle E-175 on the left side. Lots of aircraft heading out for departure. Like our Delta Connection flight to Boston got out of the penalty box. They're second in line behind Alaska. 216 heading to Seattle. Eagle heading to Chicago. Should be flight 4909 holding on 6 right. Southwest, United and United Express all waiting to head out. Looks like they're going to let the American Eagle that landed a few minutes ago cross before the CRJ heads out. The good news for us is the Eastern 777. I just wanted to check really quick. The 777 is live. So we should get the Eastern 777 heading out in the next couple of minutes. How's it going? Nice to meet you. That was terrible. I'll do it again. Nice to meet you.
We just left when they closed the doors at 7. So.
Really?
Yeah, it should be 15 minutes. So, the 5th and 6th of August.
Okay.
Carolina Panthers and the Cardinals are coming in.
Okay.
I don't know what time. The Cardinals might be coming in on a 350.
Oh, wow.
Panthers are coming on a 777-200.
Okay. Assuming American?
Yeah, from what we can gather, the 350 though, we have no idea.
Okay.
Anyway, we don't know if it's Delta or somebody else.
That'd be
I
cool.
think it might be somebody random.
Really?
Yeah. And then Qatari, they got pushed to the 8th. They'll be here in the morning.
Okay.
And then they'll be here at night. I think it's in the afternoon.
Okay.
First come in. And then they're leaving in the morning on the 9th.
Sweet.
Wasn't bad. 450 bags.
That's not too bad.
370 guys.
They must have had impacted tight the 370 on the 777.
3 of the rear bins were full. 2 in the front were full. And then half of one was full of MREs.
Oh, wow.
So, pretty full. Probably a bin and a half away from being full.
Wow.
Which, in a 777, that's like 80 bags though, in a bin.
I wonder who had to unload the 300 last week.
So with the military?
But yeah, United. I'm assuming it was United, but
No, it's us.
was it you for the diversions?
Oh no, for the diversions? One of them left that night, so I don't think they unloaded it. The
Yeah.
other one, they have a Halo sitting behind decompers, so they just leave the bag over the decompers.
Okay.
People are leaving.
Right. Got a United 737 holding short. Lots of aircraft heading out here now, trying to make sure we don't miss that United flight that's coming in that we know we have someone on. That's United 1502. They're inbound for 6 left. American 1679 out of Charlotte is inbound for 6 left. United 234 heading to San Francisco, and it looks like the 777 is taxiing, so we should get the 777 here shortly. Velo heading out, Delta's heading out, Southwest is heading out.
Be behind the Southwest.
Okay. So our 777 Eastern Airlines flight to Kansas City behind the Southwest. Business has picked up over the last 5 or 10 minutes. United heading out to San Francisco. There's the nose of the 777. I want to make sure we catch United though. United 1502. Inbound from Chicago. 737-900 ER over there on the left side. And the 777 is behind Southwest. We should see that here. It is fourth in line for departure. The Velo heading back, I think, to New Haven. It got busy all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a 6 o'clock block.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Friday. It's one of the busier days.
Delta 880 on their way back to Atlanta. And a Velo is lining up for departure. American Airlines out of Charlotte on the left side inbound. We'll stick with the Velo. And Southwest is holding short. Southwest taking a runway. We'll go ahead and follow Eastern. I know everyone wants to see the 777. Eastern Airlines 9050 heading to Kansas City, followed by Frontier 1491 heading to Tampa.
Just one big empty airplane.
It sure is. Ops following the Eastern, we got a United 7 or UPS 767 on the left side. I'll stop taking pictures and we'll follow Eastern 9050. 777-200 was a military charter earlier this afternoon. Heading back home to Kansas City. You got airport ops lining up behind the Eastern, then the Frontier A321, the largest aircraft we normally have servicing Cleveland outside of the cargo heavies. It looks tiny behind the 777. Sorry, I wanted to grab a couple of pictures of it. That's why we backed off for a second. United 737 inbound on the left side. We'll stick with Eastern. The empty 777 needed almost no runway at all to get off the ground. Third 777 we've had this week. Last week we had a couple of diversions, 2 United 777s, a 777-300 and a 777-200, both out of Tokyo. Diverted due to weather on the East Coast. Now we have Eastern heading out, and the next week we'll have a couple of more. We'll have the Arizona Cardinals coming to town, and we'll have the Carolina Panthers coming to town. A couple more heavies next week. Oh, that makes sense.
So they're keeping the players here for that night, and then that morning, the next morning, the planes are just going to fly to Akron.
Okay.
Up after the game.
I know that's normally what they've done, and I've always wondered, I'm like, is it because like an FBO couldn't handle them? But that makes sense.
They can technically not either. That's the other.
Really?
Yeah, they've never handled anything. They don't use K-loaders either.
Oh yeah.
None of us are technically K-loader certified. We just
Right.
have a part-time employee from FedEx that it is.
Okay.
So he operates the K-loaders whenever we need it.
FedEx 1490 or Frontier 1491 holding short for Tampa. And we have a Alante air charter citation for Philadelphia behind them.
I'm going to head out. That's all I needed to see.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I'll keep you updated on anything else.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
As Frontier holds short, we'll go ahead and go back to grab the comments. Dale's here said Eastern used to be one of the best commercial airlines in the 70s and 80s. And unfortunately, like Pan Am folded in 91, I believe. This is a new Eastern Airlines that came back a few years ago. And then I think they were bought out by Swift, or maybe they bought Swift, one or the other. They used to have a couple of 737s in the retro livery. Now they kind of have this new livery. So no actual relation to the old Eastern, but still pretty cool to see that name. Should see Pan Am again if all goes according to plan. They're trying to relaunch that brand as well. You saw the charter flight at JFK last year. Supposed to do another one of those next year. Then they said they hope to launch the airline as a regular passenger carrier. But we'll see what happens, because at one point they said it's going to be in the A330, then they said the A320. Now I've heard the A220. We'll see what happens if they really get that launched, but it would be pretty cool to see that name again. Frontier heading to Tampa. Citation behind that. Trying our best to get to the comments. It got pretty busy there for a few minutes, which you will never see me complain about that. They got so busy we almost missed UPS. Citation lining up. That we have American Eagle taxiing out here for departure. We should see Aer Lingus as well if the battery holds. I'm down to only about 10%. I wish I would have brought my power pack to stay live a little longer, but down to about 10% on the battery. So only a few more minutes we'll be able to stay live. But that's okay. We'll go home and bail out the wife. She's been with the kid all day. But a pretty cool day up here in Cleveland. Your block says, I think we need the F-16 demo back again at the air show. Well, hey, you're in luck. Go to the Props and Pistons Festival at Akron Fulton Airport, August 16th and 17th. The F-16 demo, still wearing the red, white, and blue YF-16 livery. FEMA will be flying the demo down at Akron on August 16th and 17th. So if you want to see the F-16 demo, go check him out at Akron. Not sure which airport he's going to be staging out of yet. I can't imagine it'll be able to land at Fulton. So I'm assuming he'll stage out of Akron Canton, but hey, he may stage out of here. We'll have to see as we get closer to the air show to see where he's actually going to be staging out of. 420 Ghost Rider said, I saw the Eastern in Reno on a live stream a few days ago. It was parked on a side runway, which I thought was weird. I wonder if they just didn't have enough ramp space or something for it. It's hard to imagine since they used to host the races there, but Air Canada Jazz 647 inbound from Montreal on the left side. Aer Lingus 10 minutes out from Dublin. A321 Neo. So the guys from Denmark are landing soon. Hell's Headbangers have arrived. There you go. Polar Bear is asking, what's the Eastern flight for? And it was a military charter. They brought the troops back earlier today. It was here about a week or so ago. And it came in from Minneapolis this afternoon and now heading back to Kansas City. So lucky we're able to catch that one. Thank you so much for the super chat. $5 super chat for 420 Ghost Rider. I really appreciate it. Just Play says the Avello has got to fly over my house. I hope you're able to catch it down there today. B-Pop is here, says crazy to think that football season is right around the corner. I feel the same way. I can't believe it's August already, or it'll be August already tomorrow. It's just, this summer has flown by. I was thinking about the air show the other day, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's only a couple of weeks away. So Hydrospace asking about Easter. It was a military charter, but it has been here a lot. It came in a couple of times, I think last week or the week before, to pick up troops and take them. I think it went to Reno, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. But a military charter. Wings Over was here, so I was there for the Eastern 777 on the opposite side of the runway. We'll hope we're able to catch it over there. It rotated quick. But I hope you're able to get some neat shots of it over there. Got Sarah here today. 420 said, I grew up in Reno in the 70s and 80s, and those races were awesome. Went to them every year like a family reunion. I can imagine. I never got to go to the races. I used to watch it every year when they had the live streams. Always rooted for Tiger, DeStefani, and Strega. Those races were so much fun to watch. when they were talking about moving the races, I always kind of hoped they would have brought him here and make it part of the air show, because I think you could have the pylons over the lake and it might have been neat. But maybe someday I'll get out to Roswell and see him. Love watching the races. I bet you got some great memories seeing them out there, especially back in those days when the fields were stacked. You know, the last few years, there's like 1 or 2 airplanes really, you know, could win the Unlimiteds, and everything else was hoping that they would break. But back in those days, man, those fields are stacked. American Eagle E175 waiting on 6 left or 6 right for departure. Flight 4389 will be heading to JFK. And then we have a Baker Aviation Cessna Citation that'll be heading to Van Nuys. Hoping the battery holds out long enough to get Aer Lingus. I'm not sure it will, but I'm hoping that the battery holds out long enough to get it. Be close. I have a power pack at home. I should have brought it today. We got some family in town, so I wasn't sure how long I'd be able to be out. And then tomorrow's my grandmother's 88th birthday, so we're going to be going over there and spending some time with her. And then weather depending, we'll do a live stream on Sunday night up here. I hope to catch you guys here for that one. A couple of fly-ins if you're in the area. There's a fly-in in Medina tomorrow morning, a fly-in and car show. And there's a pretty big one down in Mansfield as well. That's going to have the B-25 from the Tri-State Warbird Museum will be down there. So if you're in the area and want to check that out, pretty good fly-in Mansfield tomorrow. We are supposed to get some weather, but I think the weather is supposed to be in the evening, so hopefully it holds off and we're able to get that fly-in in. And then again, next week, more heavy charters coming in for the Hall of Fame game. Baker Aviation Citation for Van Nuys taking the runway. Had a pretty good variety of private jets today. We had that Falcon 900 earlier today. Expecting a lot next week for sure. After Aer Lingus, Delta 1449, A220 out of Minneapolis. Next couple of inbound flights.
73131.
Rare Bear, Strega, Miss Universe, Steve Hinton and the Red Baron. Oh my goodness. Dago Red in there as well. Had to be unbelievable. Yeah. Yes, I am.
I'm subscribed to you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Rachel.
Nice to meet you.
The driver.
Just the driver?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Take care. That's a Citation heading out. I've been fortunate over the years to meet a lot of people doing the live streams and whatnot, and it's always amazing to meet people. It's when I started this back during the pandemic, when there was nothing else to do but work or lay around the house, and just started coming up to watch airplanes, which is what I used to do with my parents as a kid. I never thought anybody would watch, and going back and watching some of those old videos, I still don't know why anybody ever watched, but it really has meant a ton to see the following and get a chance to meet a lot of people, especially kids, and really does mean a lot. So thank you guys all so much for your support. Louder than NASCAR and twice the speed. We called it the NASCAR in the air. Races would have been unbelievable. Of course, the original, well, maybe not the original air races, but the national air races you know, were held here in Cleveland many times back in the 1930s and 40s. Right here at Hopkins Airport, you're looking at the field where Jimmy Doolittle set the world speed record in the GB. Back in 1932, lots of stuff went on here. Lots of great races, lots of great air shows. Watching the footage from those days is pretty crazy, some of the stuff that was going on. But unfortunately, a lot of crashes too. And in 1949, the famous Bill Oden crash down in Berea, where he lost control of his P-51 and it crashed into a house and killed a mother and child inside, kind of brought the end of the races here in Cleveland. They were reborn in Reno and spent many years out there. And I love going back and watching those tapes. But hey, we're about out of battery here. We're gonna head home and get some dinner, give the wife a break since she's been with Jackson all day. But thank you guys all so much. Your support really does mean a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you did, hit that like button. And if you really like it, hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot. Follow me on Nick Flies Media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, especially on Instagram. If I get any updates about anything coming in, I make sure to post them there. Got some photos on there as well, some video clips and whatnot. So make sure you guys check me out there. Lots of stuff coming up over the next few weeks. And we're up to 90 likes, so keep hitting that like button. But lots of stuff going on the next couple of weeks. We got the Props and Pistons show at Akron Fulton in a couple of weeks. Some fly-ins tomorrow. We got the Cleveland Air Show. Labor Day weekend, we'll be downtown for that, probably live stream practice again. So lots of stuff going on over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you guys are here for that. Got the Hall of Fame game this week and a lot of cool airplanes coming in this week. So looking forward to bringing those to you. But thank you guys so much for your support. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you next time from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Have a great night, everyone.